You know it's this. Take a perk and a talk of this shit. Money swallowed like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look me better put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper than again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the second part of What If Naruto Enters the Simpsons? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of KFB Anime 87 on fanfiction.net. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. You just keep entertaining kids and bringing in the cash and we're cool. Though I may invest in your Krusty Burger franchise to help you sell actual edible meat, Naruto said as he held out his hand to shake. Sounds like a good deal to me. You have a deal, Mr. Uzumaki, Krusty said as he shook his hand. Ag. Naruto yelled lightly as he shocked his hand. Ha ha ha. Sorry, can't resist. Also it's glued to my hand, Krusty said as he showed his hand which had a joy buzzer on it with no strap. Just legitimately stick to his hand. Hey, no harm done, Naruto said with a chuckle as he could take a joke. Now if you excuse me, I have an appointment with a hot bartender, Naruto said as he walked out the dressing room before heading to his parking spot. Naruto saw Titania sitting in the passenger seat with Anko and Kurenai waiting outside the car for him. Really, Prince? Gonna F this random big melon bim before us? Anko asked. Don't complain, you like watching me work, Naruto smirked. We get you after you break her, Anko said with a chuckle at her boss. Of course though, that may take a bit. I have never had one this gifted and I want to enjoy it, Naruto said with a grin as he got into the car. Kurenai stayed silent as her eye twitched in irritation at this. Oh, relax. You like women too, so why not just have fun? Anko asked as she got into the back seat behind Titania. I like women worthy of my man, Kurenai said simply as she got in the back seat behind Naruto. Hey, don't think because I'm stacked I can't please him. I'll make him very happy, don't you worry, Titania said with a glare at Kurenai. Rule 1: my women get along or they will be punished, Naruto said firmly as he started the car and drove off. Rule 2: don't wear panties or bras around him. They just get in the way, Anko smirked. I don't, Titania said with a smirk and a wink at Naruto. Ha! I like this one. Anko said as she laughed. For the sake of the prince I will reserve judgment, Kurenai said. Prince? Oh, am I your CNCBN? Titania asked Naruto with a giggle at the idea. Let's see how well you do first, then we'll figure out your ranking, Kurenai said to her simply. There's a ranking? Naruto and Titania asked confused. I have it right here, Kurenai said pulling out a piece of folded paper from her big melons. Well, if there is a ranking system I better get started, Titania said as she leaned forward and undid Naruto. Wait, hold on, oh wow, Naruto groaned as Titania took 11 long PP and immediately took it without any issue. Anko's eyes widened at this. Oh wow, she's a keeper if she can took your PP immediately. Maybe she should be your new head of your bees, Anko said in awe. Kurenai growled at this as she watched Titania do the MSTR. It took her when she got with him 2 tries. Naruto pulled into his garage, parked the car and groaned as Titania continued to do him off. She's talented, Whiskers, Anko said with a smirk. Gee, get in my room and wait for me, Naruto ordered Anko and Kurenai as Titania looked up at him smirking through the PP in her mouth teasingly. Why yes my lord, Kurenai growled as she and Anko got out of the car and went inside. I thought you liked having an audience. Titania smirked as she stopped eating him off briefly to speak. I do, but I want to tell you something. If you stay with me tonight it's for good. You're mine, Naruto said to the blonde knockout who was licing his PP. It's not the fact you're in a rival mob to Fat Tony's Mafia? Titania asked with a raised eyebrow before going back to eating his PP. I see, Anko informed you, Naruto said before groaning. Your other guard did actually, she purred out. And you're okay with this? Naruto asked as he groaned. The idea of being a CNCBN of an up-and-coming Yakuza boss sounds so CC, but I expect to be treated right. Besides, you're already way more hung than Duff Man, so I ain't losing out on this PP, Titania said as she ate at the tip of his PP. Prepare yourself, I'm almost there, Naruto groaned out as he unleashed his juice. Titania without any problem or pause ate down his entire thick juice in seconds before she opened her mouth for him to show she had ate each and every drop of juice. Naruto groaned as he quickly recovered from his CLMX. His PP still primed and ready for more. Wow, you're an active one, aren't you? Titania asked teasingly. Follow me to my room, time for the main course, Naruto said as he got out of his car with Titania close behind. Hope you can satisfy me, ah. Titania yelled as Naruto picked her up and placed her on his shoulder as he went into his house. I'm gonna come back in like 3 hours, Gaara said, seeing this sight as he was sitting on the couch and knew better than to interfere with his friend's SXL escapades. Make it 6. Matter of fact, here's money for a hotel, Naruto said as he dropped a ton of cash for Gaara to use on the coffee table. This is a lot, Gaara said with a deadpan tone at the money. Then go to a bar and go find a woman, just let me have my time with this new piece of SDM in it. Naruto yelled as he smacked Titania's peach, making her squeal in excitement as he carried her upstairs. Ooh, you're so naughty, Titania giggled out. And you're a tease that I look forward to wrecking, Naruto smirked at her before kicking open his bedroom door. As soon as he entered he saw Kurenai and Anko standing by his bed, still clothed, waiting for his orders. You two up against the wall and watch, he growled lustfully as he threw Titania on the bed, landing on her back. She giggled at this before suddenly finding weight on her stomach. She looked to see Naruto NDE, having taken his suit off in an instant, and straddling her stomach. His hard PP resting on her still-clothed melons. You're overdressed for this activity, Naruto growled as he grabbed her shirt with one hand and her jeans with one. Rip. Titania's shirt and pants were torn clean off her body. Shredded to ribbons by his forceful pulling and leaving her completely naked for him. Hey, I liked that shirt, she complained with a pout. I'll buy you more clothes, but SWCH to jean shorts or even non-jean shorts. Anything I can tear off your salty body in an instant, he growled. You talk a big game, stud, let's see if you're all talk, she smirked as she ate at the head of his PP. Thwack. Naruto, tired of her taunts, grabbed his PP with his hand and slapped her cheek with it. Not hard enough to bruise the blonde bombshell, but definitely hard enough to jar her a bit. Gotta say I haven't had that happen to me, that I kinda like it. Hit me harder like that, she egged him on with a smirk. Holy SHT, I think I'm in love with this chick, Anko cackled. Naruto growled as he grabbed her melons and mistook them possessively. 100% real and all yours today, stud. They'll be yours forever if you can make me submit, Titania purred out with a smirk. Oh, I will, but first I want to F these tips and paint 'em white, Naruto growled as he inserted his PP in between his large melons as he used his hands to crush her melons around his PP. Then get. Thrusting big boy, Titania as she grabbed her melons and held them against his PP, don't worry, I'll just hold these for when you get tired from holding them, she smirked mockingly. Naruto said nothing as he started to move his PP into her bountiful melons, making her jugs jiggle with each and every move despite his grip on them. I love the feel of your hot PP throbbing all over my big sensitive thighs, Titania out from his thrusts. I love your tips. So soft and built for my PP, Naruto panted out as her melons felt fantastic to him. You ready to paint these big bub white, stud? Or are you too tired from the BLWJB earlier? Titania smirked. Grr, Naruto growled as he thrusted even harder into her melons, feeling his TSTCLS throb. I love a man who can put me in my place. No any. She smirked mockingly despite his hard thrusts. She was enjoying egging him on and being a tease. Naruto shouted as he felt his limit break and he fired his hot juice all over Titania's titanic tips, painting her big bosom white with his thick juices. So hot, Titania as she grabbed her tips and started to lick them clean. God DMN, she's good, Anko said with a smirk. She's doing better than I expected, Kurenai said, hiding her jealousy and dampening PP at the show before her. Titania finally finished cleaning her melons of Naruto's seed and smirked as she saw Naruto was still rock hard. Wow, you are still hard, I'm imp. Titania yelled as Naruto flipped her over onto her hands and knees. No more talking. No more mocking. The only thing I want to hear is your screams, Naruto said as he gripped her bountiful peach and rubbed his PP on her peach. W8. I haven't had MLBEF. Titania shouted loudly as she found a huge PP suddenly rammed inside her lower. At least I get one version of yours, though I'm surprised nobody F this first-class peach, Naruto growled as he smacked her peach hard, leaving a red mark. Oh God. It's so big. Titania yelled as she gripped the bed sheets. And I'm only halfway in, Naruto smirked. I knew she was all talk, Kurenai said with a smirk. Titania growled at this, her pride damaged by this before she looked back at Naruto and flipped her hair. Leak on stud, break in my peach. You know I can take it, she beckoned as she shook her peach a little while still impaled on his thick PP. You heard her, Prince. Break this where? Anko cheered out with a grin. Naruto groaned as he watched Titania shake her peach at him. Keep doing that, he growled as he started to move savagely into her peach. Oh F yeah baby. Wreck my peach. Make me your MLB. Titania egged him on with her dirty talk, hoping for more savagery and power. Naruto growled at her, taunting and thrust it hard, impaling the rest of his PP into her peach, making her peach clap against his abs. Ah! The blonde bombshell screamed as she felt his PP reach her deepest depths. How's his glorious PP in your peach feeling where? Kurenai mocked Titania with a savage grin. I won't break from this Titania bellowed, trying to keep some dignity and strength but failing instantly at a hard move. Just submit. It's what you were meant for, Kurenai glared at her. Yeah, besides, can you really go back to other men after this? Anko said with a smirk as Naruto smacked Titania's peach again. Titania stuttered as she was trying to not submit. 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 Kurenai and Anko chanted mockingly at her. If you don't submit I'll stop and leave you high and dry, Naruto said as he slowed down his thrusts. No, not that. I'm so close. Titania screamed in horror. Then say it, say you're mine and only mine, Naruto said as he gripped her peach and stopped thrusting. Okay fine. I Titania hereby swear to be the personal juice dumpster of Prince Naruto Uzumaki till the day I die. He is free to use any and all of my holes whenever he wishes and use my salty body like a toy for his enjoyment. Titania yelled out as she was desperate now. Naruto smirked at this. Good girl, he said before he started to move again with more vigor, making Titania's arms give out, causing her head to fall to her pillow and her peach to go even higher, but Naruto didn't stop. Are you gonna fill your juice dumpster's peach MSTR? Titania asked out in lust, her tongue hanging out of her mouth. DMN right I am. Get ready. Naruto roared as he fired his juice inside her peach, flooding her anal cavity with his heated essence. Yes. Titania screamed as she climaxed as well from his juice, panting for breath as soon as he fired. That was wonderful, Titania screamed as she was suddenly flipped onto her back by Naruto and found her tight cien suddenly penetrated by his still hard PP. I've still got one more hole to break in, Naruto shouted as he started to PND and jackhammer into her CNT. Kurenai smirked at this. I knew she would break, she said smugly. I am not broken fully yet, you be. Titania out as like she submitted earlier, her mind was still intact. Good, then I should go all out on you. Naruto growled as he thrust it hard and made Titania scream. Ha! I love this one. Anko said with a laugh. Break her MSTR. F that stupid bee's brain to mush, Kurenai panted as she started to play with herself. That's the plan, Naruto growled out as Titania's PP gripped him tightly even with him going all out. Do you finally realize your place SLT? Anko grinned as she started to fondle her own melons watching Naruto wreck the babe bartender. My place is as one of his women, Titania panted out as she felt lightheaded. You don't just become one of his women. You become his property. For him to do with as he pleases. That is what it means when you become the prince's woman. He is your MSTR. Your king. Your god. Kurenai told her as she gazed at Naruto reverently. Little much don't you think? Anko asked with a raised eyebrow at how devoted the assassin was to Naruto. I was literally born to worship him, Anko. I have no other existence or use aside from his tool and toy, Kurenai said simply. Ah. I'm almost there. Titania screamed as she panted helpless as her melons bounced from Naruto's harsh thrusts into her TWT. Go ahead and leak. I'm gonna paint your WMB white. Naruto yelled before he roared and fired his seed into her pages. Flooding her tight hole with his white-hot juices to the point it started to leak out onto the bed beneath them. Kurenai sauntered over and grabbed Titania by her hair after Naruto pulled out. Seeing her juice's drunk expression and hazy look. She's a keeper and you will respect her, Naruto growled at Kurenai in a DM way. As you wish my lord. Doesn't mean I can't play with her while you and Anko play, Kurenai said as she brought Titania into a searing tongue kiss. Naruto smirked at this as he felt himself harden and felt Anko hug him from behind. So what you wanna do to me, Whiskers? Anko asked, purring into his ear before nibbling on his earlobe. Against the wall. I miss your peach and I'm gonna make sure you remember who owns it, Naruto growled out as he looked at Anko. Of course my prince. You owned it the moment you bested me in a spar after all. Anko grinned as she placed her hands against the wall and jutted her short covered peach out. Shaking and swaying it enticingly for his gaze to follow. Naruto loomed over her before he grabbed her shorts and ripped them in half. Tearing the denim shorts to ribbons and leaving Anko's pantyless bottom out in the open for him to look at. He smirked before he slapped her right peach cheek with his hand, making it jiggle. And wobble. Get the other cheek, prince, Anko as she looked at Naruto with a smirk. Naruto used his other hand and spanked her other peach cheek hard. Leaving a red MSRK with one slap. Which hole you want to break in, prince? Anko as she felt Naruto rub his PP on her peach. Which would you prefer? He asked her with a smirk. My prince, you know I'm a SLT, Anko said with a grin. And I just love it when you call yourself that, Naruto grinned before he slammed his cockskin to her peach in one move. F yeah. Anko yelled with a savage grin as she scratched at the wall as her melons were pushed against the wall as Naruto started to move into her. God, I love your wear body, Anko. Naruto grinned at her since this was the first woman he ever slept with. The woman he conquered as a virgin. It's all for you, my prince, Anko said with a stuck grin. Then shake that peach like I like, Naruto growled into her ear before he liked her neck like an animal. You really know how to drive a wild prince, Anko out as she started to move her peach backwards onto his pages. Gyrating and twerking all over it as it filled her tight peach. Naruto growled lustfully at this as he started to ravage her, but this didn't slow down Anko. If anything, it encouraged her to go harder and faster with her own gyrations. God, I forgot how into this you get. Naruto growled at her as he gripped her peach cheeks with his hands and started to slam full force into her peach. The force of his harsh move nearly sending Anko through the wall as she was sent forward. Well, I was an XSTRPR, stud. Ah. Anko yelled as Naruto harshly smacked her peach. You only dance for me, Naruto growled out possessively to the purple-haired woman. Yes, my prince. I am your SLT. I do as you command when you command, Anko out. DMN right ugh, prepare your body for my seed, Naruto panted as he felt himself near his CLMX. Thank you my prince for the gift of your seed. I shall take as much as you wish to dump inside my holes. Anko yelled out as she climaxed right before his own release. Naruto shouted as he climaxed inside Anko, filling her peach with his juices. After a few moments Naruto backed away from Anko, making her slide down the wall and onto her knees with a smile on her face. Ah, I love seeing that stupid expression on her, Naruto chuckled. Then I hope you're ready for Master. This SLT didn't make me leak, Kurenai said as she dropped Titania to the bed unceremoniously. Naruto sighed at this. She's not used to us. Kurenai, give her time, Naruto told her. Why should I? Kurenai asked with a raised eyebrow. If you do I'll reward you by letting you have control tonight, Naruto said with a smirk as he approached his assassin lover. No deal MSTR. I don't wish for control. I wish to be used. I wish to be bred by you with your wondrous godly seed, Kurenai said, taking a knee in a bow to him. Then assume the position on my bed, Naruto said with a firm tone. Will you impregnate this lowly where my MSTR? Kurenai asked, almost begging. Maybe someday, but for tonight we'll just be having fun, Naruto said to her. As you wish, MSTR. Kurenai nodded as she lied back on the bed and opened her legs wide while using her finger to spread her PP for him to see. Unashamed and showing every bit of her body for him to enjoy. Naruto said nothing as he got on top of Kurenai and grabbed her legs and with a harsh move impaled her with his PP. Ah! So deep and glorious in one move. I live and exist to service this PP. It is my true duty. Kurenai bellowed loudly and unashamedly for the entire neighborhood to hear. Naruto leaned forward and pulled Kurenai into a savage kiss as he started to PND away at her. Kurenai kissed her lord back as she wrapped her legs around his waist and let him have his way with her body. Like the toy she made herself out to be for him. It feels just like yesterday that you offered to be my SEC/SLV fully, Naruto mused as he recalled how Kurenai always wished to be his tool or SLV while working under his mother. And by DMN she got her wish. It's my purpose. Kurenai said while she without shame at a deep move from Naruto. Your purpose is to be here for me as a lover and my personal assassin, Naruto told her. Not according to the deal with your mother. Kurenai panted out with a lustful grin. You don't work for my mother, you work for me. Naruto growled as he moved harshly into Kurenai, entering her WMB. Yes. I do. And the contract I signed with you made me your property. Just as I wanted. Kurenai said with her tongue hanging out. What am I gonna do with you? Naruto groaned as he continued to move. Whatever you want, my lord. F me, slap me, breed me. Whatever your heart desires I will fulfill. Kurenai said in a reverent tone. Fine. Take my seed like a good little were. Naruto growled out as he climaxed again. Yes. Kurenai screamed out as she orgasmed while his juices flooded her WMB. So much of MSTR's juices. Inside me. It's the greatest feeling in the world. Kurenai yelled out. Naruto panted for breath as actually felt winded as he pulled out of Kurenai and fell to the bed on his back. After a few moments he felt something on his PP and when he looked down he saw Kurenai, Anko, and Titania eating at his PP. We live to satisfy you MSTR. Please indulge in our mouths to your heart's content, Kurenai said as she continued to S on his PP. Yeah prince, you lasted longer than this before, so let's continue this party, Anko purred out as she ate at his PP with her long tongue. I need more training, stud. I want to be able to keep up, Titania said with a giggle as she ate on his large ball. Naruto chuckled at this. Well, I'm not one to not give my lovely ladies what they want, he said as he let them SCK him off. The rest of the night was filled with the sounds of SEC as Naruto indulged in his lovers' bodies. Naruto's house. It was the morning after Naruto's foursome with Titania, Anko, and Kurenai. He awoke throwing on a pair of underwear and a robe as he walked down the steps, leaving his girls to sleep some more and rest. As he descended the staircase, he saw Gaara sitting silently on one of his couches, reading a book. "You're here early," Naruto said as he went into the kitchen to make some coffee. "It's 11 a.m., Gaara said stoically as he followed Naruto into the kitchen. "Hey, after a fursum, that's early for me," Naruto said as he started his coffee maker. "At least it's not like the time I walked in on you with my sister," Gaara deadpanned. "Hey, she made the move on me," Naruto said as he chuckled as he remembered how Temari was pretty blunt with what she wanted. "That makes it worse since it was in my room," Gaara deadpanned to his best friend. "Not my fault she barged in there and jumped on me," Naruto muttered as he poured his coffee. "Anyway, I have information on those construction rackets. Seems like there's 3 construction companies. One based on the east side of the city, one on the west side of the city, and lastly a mob construction company run by Fat Tony. They have no location as they are constantly moving cars and trucks for legal reasons," Gaara explained as he shut his book. Okay, so we take the east and west sides and drive Fat Tony out of the construction business by finding and wrecking the trucks and supplies," Naruto said as he drank some of his coffee. "I'll see if I can pinpoint one of his trucks via gossip and rumor. In the meantime, I'd suggest checking out those construction companies as well as looking into some apartment buildings for the rest of our organization," Gaara said as he listed off his suggestions. "Oh yeah, I wanted to buy the TV studio too. Guess I might as well do that while I'm out," Naruto said as he walked to a nearby closet and pulled out a dark orange suit with a white undershirt and dark orange tie. "Not bringing Kurenai or Anko?" Gaara asked. "No, let them rest, also call mom and tell her to send the rest of the crew," Naruto said before walking into a bathroom to change. "You got it, boss," Gaara said as he stood up to make his call in another room. 15 minutes later, Naruto walked out wearing his suit and adjusting his tie before he walked over to his garage to his electric motorcycle and grabbed a helmet. As he drove out of the garage, he spotted Maggie standing next to a makeshift stand that said, "Wedges $5." He saw that 2 young kids Maggie's age were next to her. One had glasses and blue hair and the other had very little hair and looked a little dim. These were Milhouse and Ralph, Maggie's friends/partners in scams. "Step right up. Only $5 to Wedgie and Nerd," Maggie called out. "I didn't really think this was what you meant when you wanted to make some money using us," Milhouse said to Maggie after her call. "I'm giving you both 10%, so quit your whining. Hey Nelson. You want to wedge some nerds? $5 a throw," Maggie yelled to a kid walking by. $5. Oh hell yes. A 10-year-old wearing a denim vest shouted happily and excitedly. He took out a 20 and gave it to Maggie before he approached Milhouse and Ralph. "Hey! You didn't say it would be Nelson," Milhouse exclaimed in fear at what was coming. "Me first, Nelson," Ralph yelled with a dopey grin as the bully approached them before 2 ear-splitting screams occurred from the 2 nerds being wedged. "Hey, not bad kid," Naruto said with a chuckle at Maggie before he drove off to run his errands. "West side of the city. Alright, where is that construction company?" Naruto asked, looking for the construction site, seeing as he figured the TV studio he knew exactly where it was, so better to hunt the construction site. He soon spotted a construction site and saw some workers eating lunch. Naruto parked nearby before walking over. "Yo, what you guys building?" Naruto asked the lunch-eating workers curiously. "Apartment complex," one told him before taking a bite of his sandwich. "Does it have an owner yet?" Naruto asked as he looked at the building. "No, but the mob has been looking to buy it, but the boss won't sell for cheap like they want," another worker said with a snicker. "Where's this boss of yours?" "I'd like to make an offer," Naruto said. "Office is over there, kid," a worker said as he gestured to a trailer nearby. "Thanks, keep up the good work guys," Naruto said in gratitude before heading to the trailer and knocking on the door. "If this is Tony's goons again, you can PSS off," a male voice yelled from the trailer. And what if it's someone with a good offer? Naruto asked. Enter, the man said as Naruto entered. Naruto saw a man at a desk looking over some paperwork. You wanna buy this crap heap? What's your offer? The man asked, not even looking up. That and your company, Naruto said as he sat in a chair across from the desk. Okay, now I know this is a joke, kid. Go beat it, the man said looking up. It's not, see, I'm a up-and-coming businessman and I'm looking to invest in your company, Naruto said simply in a professional tone. And why should I believe you? This lot alone needs to be bought from the realtor for a good 30 grand, the man said, not buying it. I'll pay 40 grand if it will put you at ease, Naruto said simply, knowing paying over asking price said a lot. You ain't bluffing. You really want to buy this place? The man asked, bewildered. Yup. Bring down the realtor and I'll sign it right now. Along with financing the construction, Naruto said, knowing this was probably a tax-only funded build and would have been very simplistic. The man nodded at this. Okay kid, I'll bite, but you will have to convince the realtor. She's kind of a spitfire, the man said, grabbing his phone. Good, I love a challenge, Naruto smirked. She would eat you alive, kid, the man said before making a call. Yeah, I got a guy here interested in purchasing this place. Yeah, he understands the price. Yeah, he understands it's still being built. No, he's not with Fat Tony's imbeciles. No, he's not wanting to buy the entire west side, the man said as he rolled his eyes. Okay, I'll tell him. She wants to meet you at a nearby restaurant called Luigi's, the man told Naruto after hanging up. Cool, I'll meet her there then, Naruto said as he stood up from his chair. Wear a helmet, kid, the man said with a chuckle as Naruto left for the restaurant. Luigi's. Naruto was sitting at a table waiting for the woman he was to meet with so he could buy the still being built apartment. Soon, however, he noticed a Chinese woman with raven black hair, wearing a white button-up sleeveless shirt, black pants, and black heels with E-cup melons, toned body, and a plump peach. The woman looked at Naruto and approached his table. You the man who wants the future apartment building? The woman asked him. Indeed I do, and I'm willing to pay the asking price and then some. MS. Naruto asked, wanting her name. Cookie Quan. #1 real estate agent on the west side. What's a kid doing throwing around money like that? Cookie asked, suspicious as the lot alone cost 30 grand, not to mention adding to construction cost or what it'll cost when finished. I'm 21 and like I said to the guy in charge of the construction workers, I'm a businessman looking to expand into Springfield, Naruto said simply. 300 grand for lot, ownership, addition to construction, and allow me to take cut for every apartment rented, Cookie said simply as she was supposed to either sell the whole place or each apartment for her business when it was done. You're a shrewd businesswoman, aren't you? Naruto asked with a chuckle. #1 on west side for reason. Cookie said simply. Very well, it's a deal, and if we're gonna be in business together we should have each other's numbers, Naruto said simply. You think I'm some desperate woman? Cookie asked deadpan before pulling out a contract. Sign here, 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 initial here, kiss me on cheek, date here, Cookie said. Naruto chuckled at this as he signed the contract, and after he signed he pulled Cookie close and kissed her cheek, surprising her. Most guys just run when I'm that pushy, Cookie said, surprised that Naruto didn't hesitate. I'm not most guys. I see what I want and I take it, Naruto said with a grin. Cookie smiled at this. What your name, cutie? She asked. Seeing as they'd be business partners now essentially. Name's Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto greeted. The same Uzumakis from Dash, Cookie was asking before she was interrupted. Yes, those Uzumaki, Naruto said simply. I heard Fat Boy was pissed about some big shots looking to step into his business, Cookie said as she smiled as anyone who pissed off Fat Tony pleased her. Yeah, Fat has pissed me off so I'm gonna end his business, Naruto said simply so it didn't incriminate him. You looking to buy more real estate to slowly take over? Cookie asked curiously. Actually, I wouldn't mind doing that, Naruto admitted. If you're gonna take over you are gonna need dirt on powerful figures that are paid off by Fat Boy. Cookie said as she nodded. And you have a source to give me that? Naruto asked. Indeed I do. There is a burlesque house in town that all the men go to and spill their guts over some big tips. On top of that, my best friend is a very powerful person and a big gossip. Cookie said. Naruto smirked at this. Perfect, can I have their contact information? That cost you big boy, Cookie said with a flirty smirk at Naruto. You want me to pay that now or after lunch? Naruto asked with a grin. After we go grab cousin Nookie Quan. Number 1 on the east side. She join and you get 2 real estate informants, Kumi said. If she's as CC as you. Today is gonna be a good day, Naruto said with a smirk. People think we twin sisters, Cookie said. Naruto paused at this before he took out a notepad and opened it, showing it was a list labeled, Things to Do Before I Die. He looked down the list and saw, Make Chinese twins into juice dumpsters. Oh ho ho. You're an ambitious one, aren't you, Yakuza boy? Cookie asked with a smirk as she looked at the list. DMN straight. Now let's go, Naruto grinned. I'll call my cousin and we can have some fun at my condo, Cookie said with a lustful grin. Naruto immediately dropped money to the table before grabbing Cookie and running out the restaurant. They didn't even order anything, a waiter said, walking over and grabbing the money for themselves. Cookie Quan's condo. Naruto was brought into a nice condominium by Cookie. Nice place, Naruto said as he looked around. There you see condo, now take off. Cookie told him while a woman looking exactly like Cookie entered with her. Only difference being her white heels unlike Cookie's black heels. Okay, this stud you texted about better be, hello. Nookie said as she got a good look at Naruto and smiled in approval. Why he still clothed? She asked her cousin, liking her lips salaciously. You two just cut to the chase, don't you? Naruto chuckled. We single and corny. Now get off already. Cookie ordered as she closed the door behind Nookie and locked it. Naruto instantly pulled Cookie into a rough kiss, surprising her as he pushed her against the door. Rule 1, Miss Number 1 on the west side, I'm the one in charge, Naruto growled into her ear before snaking a hand to her shirt and up, tearing it off in one motion, completely shredding it from her body. Hey, that shirt expensive. Cookie yelled as she looked down at her exposed black BR-clad melons. Before Naruto pushed her against the door again and gripped her melons and pulled her close. If you prove yourself worthy of being one of my women, I'll buy you another shirt. Hell, I'll buy you a wardrobe if you satisfy me enough, Naruto growled before he looked at Nookie, who was watching this with wide eyes. That offer goes to you as well, Miss Number 1 on east side, Naruto told her. You looking to dominate us both, big boy? Nookie asked with a lustful smirk. Looking? My dear, I think you and your cousin already realize it, but Naruto was saying before he reached a hand to her and pulled her shirt to pieces off her torso, exposing a white BR underneath. I've already dominated you two by existing, he smirked. Less talk, more making me cheap Asian wear. Cookie yelled at Naruto before her pants were torn off in half by Naruto, this time leaving her in a black thong and her black heels. Now are you gonna undress yourself or follow your cousin's example and mouth off to me, making me rip up your clothes? Naruto asked Nookie with a smirk. Nookie smirked at this as she took off her own pants, leaving her in a white thong and white heels. Jackpot, Naruto smirked, looking over the twins and their sinful bodies. Now ladies, Naruto said as he unzipped his pants and dropped them along with his boxers. Thud. As his pants and boxers fell, so too did Cookie and Nookie to their knees in an instant, seeing 11 long PP, fully hardened, spring to life before their eyes. You want us service you first? Cookie asked as she looked at his PP while Nookie liked her lips. Double BLWJB from Salty Asian Twins. I'd be an idiot to pass that up. Get to it, Naruto ordered with a smirk. Cookie and Nookie immediately sidled up to his PP, each one instantly stuck their tongues out and eating a side of his PP. Cookie taking the west and Nookie the east. Naruto groaned in approval as the twins worked together to pleasure him before he moved his hands to their heads. He patted their heads like one would a pet before he let them continue to pleasure his PP. The twins mmm in approval at this as they both started eating with more eagerness and vigor, with each movement of their tongues increasing in speed and ferocity. Naruto grunted at this and took off his shirt as they liked at him. He looked down at their still BR-clad melons and smirked as he moved his hands down to each of their bras. Rip. Yet again clothing was ripped off. This time 2 bras simultaneously torn from twin bodies in complete sync, revealing both cousins' large, matching tips. Now you two be good and use your melons to pleasure me, Naruto ordered them. We already do work for you. Maybe you should return favor for us, Cookie told him as she stopped her liking. Yeah. Yakuza boy should pleasure us first, Nookie said with a smirk. Fair enough, Cookie, bend over that kitchen counter, Naruto said firmly. Why Cookie first? I'm number 1 on east side, Nookie said. You will get yours soon enough, now both of you bend over that counter. Now. Naruto growled out, the fierceness in his voice making them immediately bend over the nearby kitchen counter with zero hesitation. Naruto smirked at this as he looked at the twins who were still in their heels, which caused their backsides to really stick out, and their thongs. Naruto approached Cookie and grabbed her by her curvy peach and moved her thong to the side and with a savage move. Ayayaya. Cookie yelled, feeling her PP be invaded by his massive, throbbing PP. How it feel, cousin? Nookie asked with a grin before she also screamed as she felt one of Naruto's hands slide under her own thong and his finger slide into her moistened PP. Naruto started to move into Cookie while he also used a free hand to play with Nookie's CNT. Fingers and peach moving in sync on their twin orifices. So how's it feel to be with a real man, ladies? Naruto asked, smirking at the twins. Ayaya. You so big strong man. Cookie mmm out with her tongue hanging out. She had never had someone like this man before. The F he was giving her was animalistic. Bestial. Primal. Hell, well, better get used to this kind of F soon. I'm not stopping till you both agree to be my juice dumpsters for the rest of your lives, Naruto told them with a grin. Yes sir. You use us as little Asian SLTS, Cookie and Nookie yelled together as Naruto pleasured them. Not good enough. I want you two to submit as my juice dumpsters exactly. Saying your SLTS isn't enough for me. I need those exact words. Naruto told them before giving each of them a harsh move inside their cans. He wanted that admission and SBMSN. So he could finally take it off his bucket list. We not submit yet, Nookie said, smirking at him. She not speak for me, Kunk mmm out as Naruto thrusted into her. Oh, now she definitely does in this case. Which means I can stop holding back, Naruto smirked, throwing an extra finger inside Nookie's CNT before thrusting harder into Cookie's. Ayaya. You make me your bee. Cookie mmm out from his animalistic thrusts. Not what I want to hear, Naruto smirked before slapping her peach, making it jiggle, and her mmm. Kaya. So good, daddy. Cookie mmm. Not what I need to hear, Naruto smirked and spanked her again. You know what to submit. So speak it or no juices for you, Naruto grinned at Cookie whose eyes widened. Okay. I submit. I, Cookie Quan, offer body as juice. Dump for Uzumaki stud. I live to serve as property of Uzumaki and offer body and entire west side of Springfield to him in exchange. Cookie mmm out with her tongue hanging out. Good girl. Here's your reward. Naruto roared before leaking inside of her TWT. His seed, filling her depths before he let her fall to the counter. Meanwhile his fingers had made Nookie spray her juices all over the floor in front of the counter from her own orgasm. One juice dumped down. One more to go, Naruto grinned as he pulled his PP out of Cookie's filled TWT, still hard, before approaching Nookie's jutted out rear. Mercy. Nookie asked, seeing how stupid her cousin was and realized she may have awoken a beast. No mercy for fellow juice dump. Cookie yelled before she groaned and fell back on the counter to rest. Errors have been made, Nookie said as Naruto gripped her by her peach before he moved her thong and thrust it hard into her pee-pee. Ayaha. Nookie screamed formed the intrusion. You two really are twins essentially. You two are exactly the same in tightness. Naruto groaned out in pleasure, which means if I move right here. Naruto said as he hit a move in a particular spot that he had on Cookie. Nookie screamed at this and fell forward and rested her head as she started to drool from the amount of pleasure she was feeling from Naruto's thrusts. Guess you two really are exact twins somehow, Naruto grinned. Ah. You leak in juice dump daddy. Nookie out as she looked back at Naruto helplessly. Maybe after a few more thrusts, Naruto grinned as he smacked her peach hard making her in approval. You so big and strong you need good time from your twin juice dumps. We leak to you whenever you call from now on. We your property and you can own East Side like you own me. Nookie I have such good girls, Naruto grunted as he felt himself leaking. Alright, as payment for handing over East Side I'll fill your CNT. Naruto roared as he shot his juice inside Nookie's TWT. Yah. Nookie screamed as she climaxed hard. Her juices spraying the condo floor once more from her CLMX before she fell forward. Well girls, those were some fun warm-ups. Ready for round 2? Naruto grinned before he approached Cookie again. You bet Big Daddy. Ah. Cookie screamed as Naruto grabbed her hair and thrust it hard into her peach and renewed his thrusts. With Kurenai. Damn it Gaara. Why didn't you stop him? Kurenai yelled irritated. He's out making moves to take over some construction sites and other businesses. I think he is gonna buy a appeasement building too, Gaara said simply as he hung up his phone. You don't remember that every time he's left alone he either gets into a life or death situation or banging random SLTS? Kurenai questioned. Tony won't make a move. Our mole informed me that his men refuse to do anything without high pay and Tony is being cheap, Gaara said simply. So he's probably plowing SLTS then, Anko said with a smirk. Not on my watch. He has terrible taste in women when they're not me. Kurenai yelled out as she growled. Oh come on, he's not that bad is he? Titania asked as she came downstairs fully dressed. He once an entire cabaret club staff of women. While the club was open. In broad daylight, Gaara deadpanned. Where is he? Kurenai yelled, not happy of being reminded of that incident. I'll call him, Anko said pulling out her phone and hit speed dial and after a few rings. What is it Anko? Naruto asked sounding like he was panting as Anko put him on speaker. Kurenai wants to know your location, Anko asked. He ball deep in new SLT so F off. Cookie yelled over the phone before a smacking sound was heard, Ayaya. That's one of my enforcers so show respect or you get none of my juices, Naruto growled out as another smack was heard. I sorry daddy. Please don't punish me. Cookie yelled. Oh you so big daddy, another Asian sounding woman who sounded like Cookie yelled. Chinese twins? Anko asked deadpan. Yes, now tell Kurenai to get my new construction crew in shape. I'll see you all later after I finish with these two. After all, I have a date with Lisa later. Naruto said before hanging up. I blame you for that bucket list, Kurenai growled at Anko. Oh you love it now let's go. Naruto texted the address of his new construction company, Anko said as she held up her phone. Later with Naruto. Naruto chuckled as he put on his suit and left Cookie and her cousin Nookie naked and panting on the kitchen counter. Alright girls. I'll come see you two again or have you to me soon. Naruto said as he headed for the door. Yes MSTR, Cookie and Nookie together with tongues hanging out. Heh. I love being called that. If I didn't have a date later I'd stay and F you two some more. Naruto smirked. Oh well another time. See ya around my twin juice dumps. he said before he left. With Lisa. Lisa was currently getting ready for her date tonight with Naruto. Which couldn't come soon enough as she didn't want to be here for the dinner with Krusty Bart had won as a prize from the studio. She had no issues with the clown, truthfully he was a known pervert and she didn't really want to deal with that before a date. Or watch Naruto bash his head in if he takes it too far like her ex-boss. Lisa, Naruto is here. Marge called out from downstairs. Thanks Mom. I'll be down in a minute, Lisa called out before she threw on a spritz of perfume. And then paused before opening her shirt and applying a spritz in between her melons. You never know, she muttered before standing up and heading downstairs. Naruto stood at the doorway of the Simpson house and watched Lisa come down in a short strapless orange dress with a slit on the side and pink lipstick applied to her lips. Whoa, Naruto muttered seeing her beauty dressed like this. Whoa mama. Bart yelled as he howled like a wolf to tease them. Thanks Bart, Lisa said flatly at this while Naruto laughed. I thought it was funny, plus he's not wrong, he admitted to Bart before ruffling his hair. Ah my bad boy spikes. Bart groaned from having to fix his hair after this. Make sure you have her home by midnight or I'm gonna let Maggie cut the brakes on your car, Homer said with a firm tone as he made his presence known. Don't worry Mr. Simpson, I'll have her home by midnight. Naruto told him with a smile. Homer nodded at this before he left the room. Relax, I wouldn't cut your brakes not without asking for a bribe first, Maggie said with a smirk. Not bad kid, Naruto said with a chuckle as he handed Maggie a 50. Little light there for a bribe, Maggie said with a smirk. Definitely like my mom, Naruto said with a chuckle as he handed her another 50. Pleasure doing business brother-in-law, Maggie said. Hey, how come she gets a bribe? I can talk too you know. Bart said as he looked at Naruto. I gave you $300 literally 3 days ago, Naruto deadpanned at him as he paid him $200 for a drink and an extra $100 for pointing him to his house. Bart, go upstairs or I'm taking your savings and giving it to Rod and Todd, Lisa said with a glare. Oh hell no. Not those losers. They'll burn it and claim it was manufactured by the devil. Bart groaned before running upstairs. Nice try SQR, Naruto said with a chuckle as he and Lisa left the house. So where do you plan on bringing me for our date? Lisa asked as they got into her car. I found a restaurant that has a dance floor. Figured it'd be a good place for a date, Naruto told her. I thought you couldn't dance. Lisa asked with a smirk, remembering teasing him about not knowing. Capoeira. I told you I was still learning it. I wasn't lying, Naruto said as he started his car. So you were, Lisa teased him with a grin. Guess I'll just have to prove it to you then, Naruto smirked at her before driving them off to their date. Passing by a white clown car driving into the Simpson driveway. Later at the restaurant. The restaurant was known as the Gorian Bailando or Dancing Sparrow for those unfamiliar with Spanish. A newer restaurant to appeal to Springfield's younger, college crowd. Naruto parked his car and got out before he went to Lisa's door and let her out. My such a gentleman, Lisa told him with a grin as she exited his car. Well, my mom raised me to be a gentleman, Naruto said with a chuckle before holding out his arm. Shall we enter, milady? He asked. Hope the bouncer lets us in, Lisa said as she took Naruto's hand. I think he will, Naruto said with a smile as he led them to the restaurant door. Whoa, you two, let me see some ID, the large male bouncer ordered, holding a hand up. Naruto took out his wallet and took out his ID, which he showed to the man. Uzumaki? The bouncer asked, confused. I'm Japanese, Naruto deadpanned. Fair enough. And the lady? I need your ID, he told Lisa. Lisa pulled out hers, a little worried since she was only 19 and didn't want them. The bouncer looked at the ID and scowled. Look, my friend, I know you have a job, so how about I promise she won't drink any alcohol and you take this? Naruto asked as he put a $100 bill in the bouncer's front pocket. I mean, I was just gonna have to try and hunt down the bans for underage people, but whatever. The bouncer shrugged before he let Naruto and Lisa pass. Just don't sit at the bar and you'll be fine. Oh thank you, Naruto said as he didn't think it would be simple. We're mainly a dance and food establishment, sir. Just 'cause we sell alcohol doesn't mean we can't serve underage people. It just means we need systems in place so no one gives someone underage alcohol on top of the cameras. The bouncer explained. Very good establishment you looking to sell? Naruto inquired. Come on you, Lisa said as she rolled her eyes and dragged Naruto into the building. Wait here. Naruto shouted, throwing a business card into the wall next to the bouncer like a shuriken, embedding into the wall as Lisa dragged him off. Is it always business with you? Lisa rolled her eyes some more as they approached a table. I always find time for what's important, Naruto said as he pulled out a chair for Lisa at a table. Oh, I'm important to you, huh? Lisa asked with a teasing smile as she sat down. I mean I'd be an idiot if you weren't, Naruto told her as he sat down in his own seat. I'm surprised you picked a Spanish restaurant. I half expected karaoke or pool, Lisa told him. I can appreciate other cultures plus your mom texted me you loved places like this and jazz clubs, Naruto told her with a smile. Lisa mentally thanked her mom while she looked at a menu. Welcome to Gorian Bailando. I shall be your waiter this evening. What can I get you both to start? A waiter approached with a notepad. 2 waters and do you have anything vegetarian for my date? Naruto asked curiously. Certainly. Our nacho and taco options each have plant-based meats as substitutions along with our arrays of salads. The waiter explained. That sounds great, Lisa said with a smile. Okay, I'll take an order of the plant-based nachos along with her salad, Naruto said. Excellent choices sure, the waiter said as he wrote down their orders and left. I'm surprised you're willing to try plant-based meat, Lisa said. Well, I'm willing to try it for a pretty face, Naruto said with a smile at Lisa. Well, aren't you the flatterer, Lisa giggled. I don't exaggerate, I only speak the truth, Naruto told her honestly. Lisa smiled before looking at the dance floor. Wanna hit the dance floor while we wait for our food? She asked. Absolutely, Naruto said with a smile as he led Lisa to the floor by the hand. Before proceeding to tango, stealing the show so to speak as they danced. A little later. Naruto and Lisa approached their table, Lisa panting from the dancing. You really can dance, huh? Lisa said with a smile while breathing in some air as she rested. I'm surprised you're that good I could barely keep up, Naruto said with a chuckle as they sat down as their food arrived. Before Naruto could take a bite however he was suddenly pulled out of the booth and thrown to the floor by a figure. You have a lot of nerve showing up here Uzumaki after what your crew has been up to in the boss's town, an Italian man in a suit growled out flanked by 5 more guys in suits. Hey there guys. I need to ask you to leave the bouncer was saying as he walked over before the head-suited guy snapped his fingers. Bang! One of the mobsters had pulled out a gun, shooting the bouncer in the chest and making patrons scream. I don't care about the stupid bounty on your head or the whole needing hazard pay to take you out. The boss wants you dead. That's what I'll give him. The head mobster said before reaching into his jacket for a gun. Naruto scowled as he looked at the bouncer who was shot and glared at the men as they surrounded him. That was unnecessary, he growled as he felt something inside him about to snap. Killing you publicly will send a message but don't you fret when you're dead I'll go comfort that girl of yours before I make her work the streets, the head mobster said with a sick grin. Naruto felt something snap inside him before he nodded at Lisa who hid in the back of the building. You know something, Naruto was saying as he slowly stood up. Hey, I didn't say you could stand. The mobster growled as he pulled the gun out and fired at Naruto's feet. Naruto however spun out of the way, ending up behind the mobster. You idiots just F up, Naruto said before he spin-kicked the gun from the mobster's hand into the other mobster with a gun drawn. The thrown gun smacking him in the face and knocking him out cold to the dance floor. You idiots are on a dance floor. So, shall we dance? Naruto asked with a crazed grin. Get the F-er. The mobster shouted to his 4 buddies still standing. The 4 men charged at Naruto, who just stood there grinning before he did a backflip away from a punch. Landing on his feet, he sent a spinning back elbow into a mobster's gut, making him lurch before cartwheeling over their hunched form. As he landed from his cartwheel, he dropped his heel on the head of another mobster, sending him to the ground face first before spinning and sweeping his leg into the hunched goon. Using the momentum of his spinning sweep, he got onto his hands in a handstand before spinning around with his legs stretched out and split. Windmilling around and around as his legs connected to the other 2 goons and kicking them over and over again in the chest. When Naruto landed on his feet, he saw only the goon that shot the bouncer was left. "You mother, the mobster was yelling before Naruto grabbed him by his throat and slammed him by the back of his head into a glass table nearby several times before the table shattered and some of the glass cut into the mobster's face. You know, I always had this no-kill code. Not because of some moral high ground, but because I knew one day I'd have to end someone and made it to make sure they absolutely deserved it," Naruto said, looking down at the man with his grin widening. The man groaned as he looked up at Naruto, who had a crazed grin as he looked down at him. "Well, guess what, Eugenia F. Wad? You just won the honor of being my first kill," Naruto said as he grabbed a sheathed dagger from inside his jacket pocket and pulled it out before unsheathing it. "When you get to hell, tell the devil to make some room for your fat as boss." Naruto growled as he started to swing the blade down. "Naruto, stop," Lisa yelled out at him, making his pause. Naruto looked at Lisa, who had come out of her hiding place. "Please don't do this," Lisa begged. Naruto looked at Lisa before he looked at the man he was holding before he put his dagger away. "You're lucky she was here. So thank the lady," he said with a firm tone. Thank you," the man groaned, absolutely terrified. "Now apologize for your little comment earlier," Naruto growled out. I am sorry. Sorry that I didn't get the chance to nail your fat peach." He grinned, thinking since Naruto wasn't gonna kill him now, he could say whatever he wanted. Naruto growled before he dragged the man near a window. Outside the restaurant there were several cop cars parked outside. Chief, why are we not heading inside?" An African-American cop named Lou asked from the passenger seat of a cop car next to the chief. "We got a shots fired report. It looks like Fat Tony's guys are trying to intimidate some guy. Anyways, I don't want to get, so we're waiting here," Chief Wiggum said. Suddenly the window to the restaurant broke as the mobster Naruto was fighting was thrown out of the window and landed on the trunk of the police car covered in glass. "Ugh, should have just apologized," the mobster groaned out in pain. "Shouldn't we go in and arrest the guy who did this?" Lou asked. "And get hit like that guy?" "Nope," the chief said, showing his cowardice. Lou sighed at this as he was getting sick of the half-assed work his chief put into this job. Especially since it was a job he always wanted to have. Naruto walked out of the restaurant and waved at the cops. "Hey Fat, as there's a guy bleeding inside. Call an ambulance," he yelled at them. "And let those paramedics save another person to make them think they're rockstars." "No chance," Wiggum said. "Either call them now or my girl posts that SHT on Facebook," Naruto said as he jerked a thumb at Lisa, who had her phone out. "Chief, just call the ambulance," Lou said. Wiggum grumbled at this as he made the call. "Good to know there is one cop in this town that's not retarded," Naruto said with a scowl at Wiggum as he turned to Lisa. "Come on, I'll take you home," Naruto told her. Lisa nodded as she followed Naruto to his car. Simpson house. "I'm sorry that happened, Lisa," Naruto said as he walked her to the door. "It's not your fault, you're number 1 on Fat Tony's hit list," Lisa said simply. "Yeah, well, he's gonna see hell for ruining my date with my girl," Naruto growled out. "Oh, I'm your girl, huh?" Lisa asked. Naruto paused at this. "Well, he said as he rubbed the back of his head. "I accept, bozo," Lisa smirked, finding his nervousness cute. "Why you do?" Naruto asked, surprised. "Sure, from what I saw you could use a girl to keep your other girls in line," Lisa said as she pointed across the street at Kurenai, who was spying on them with binoculars on the roof of Naruto's house. "Oh hell no. Kurenai shouted as she threw down the binoculars and jumped off the roof. She heard that? Lisa asked bewildered. I can read lips you be. Kurenai yelled walking over. Kurenai. Naruto said with a hard look at the assassin. Fine, but she better watch her mouth, Kurenai said as she glared at Lisa. Lisa was instantly in front of Kurenai, and before the assassin could react, Lisa poked her in the forehead. What? Kurenai asked surprised. Yeah, I'm with Kurenai. The hell? Naruto asked surprised at this. I took several self-defense classes years ago. I may be a pacifist, but I have a limit just like you, Lisa said to Naruto before she looked at Kurenai with a glare showing she wouldn't back down. He almost killed someone, didn't he? Kurenai stated more than asked. Yes, he did. Now go, Lisa said firmly with a glare. Fine. I'll head home for now, but you and me will settle who's his top B. Just you wait, Kurenai said before heading back home. Naruto chuckled at this. You are so much more hotter now, he said to Lisa. Well, I can't just be a pretty face if my boyfriend is a yakuza, right? Lisa asked with a grin as she approached Naruto. You sure you want to be with me knowing that? Naruto asked seriously, knowing she'd be targeted. Lisa said nothing before she grabbed Naruto by his shirt, pushed him into her door, and kissed him fiercely against the door. Soon she pulled away from him. Naruto, I know you're a good person and that's all that matters to me. I just don't want to see you kill someone. She said. And you won't, I promise you that, Naruto said with a nod. That being said, while I don't want to see it, if you have to kill Fat Tony I sure won't complain, she told him. Naruto chuckled at this before he hugged Lisa, who hugged him back as they stayed like that for a minute. Before the door Naruto was against opened up and the two fell back inside the Simpsons house. You're late. Homer yelled at the new couple. Homer, it's a minute past midnight and they pulled in 5 minutes ago. Before that woman across the street came up to them, Marge said deadpan to her husband. You saw that, huh? Naruto chuckled sheepishly as he got up and helped Lisa to her feet. Hard not to since she's been on that roof for 12 hours straight, Marge deadpanned. Naruto groaned at this as he made a note to tell Kurenai no more spying on Lisa or her family. Well, look, I won't cause you guys any more issues tonight and we'll have words with Kurenai. Naruto told them. Just make sure my little girl stays safe and we're fine, Homer said with a firm tone. I'd sooner die than let her get hurt, Naruto said firmly. Homer nodded at this before he went upstairs with Marge. Naruto turned to look at Lisa, who smiled at him. Night, Lisa, he said as he headed for the door. Night, Naruto, Lisa said as she watched him leave. Can you two keep it down? I'm trying to cry myself asleep and have no drags to knock me out. The voice of Krusty the Clown shouted from the living room, sobbing. Not even gonna ask, Naruto said as he left. Me neither, Lisa said before heading upstairs to her room. As Naruto headed for his house he paused. God damn it, I forgot to buy the TV studio again. He shouted in realization. That's what happens when you go off without one of us, Kurenai said from a bush next to the Simpsons doorway. Woman, will you stop stalking my girlfriend and her family? Naruto yelled at Kurenai. I'm not stalking them, I'm stalking you, Kurenai said simply. Oh, that's so much better, Naruto said with a groan as he walked across the street to his home with his stalker/bodyguard/lover behind him. Evergreen Terrace. Naruto awoke from his sleep after his date with Lisa the night before and looked down, seeing Kurenai in his bed completely naked. Kurenai? What are you doing in here? He asked as he went to sleep alone last night, since Titania and Anko were in a guest room, playing, and Gaara was sleeping on a couch. Kurenai was supposed to be investigating leads and businesses as punishment for stalking him and Lisa. I finished what you requested of me and I decided to sleep in here to protect you from any wannabe assassins Fat Tony tried to send, she said nonchalantly. Then why are you naked? Naruto deadpanned at his assassin bodyguard. Well, I know my love needs relief sometimes in the morning, she purred out as she crawled atop him and nibbled on his ear. Naruto shuddered a little at this. Fine, but you only get one round, Naruto told her. Of course darling, Kurenai said before she swung her legs over him and immediately impaled her PP on his PP, straddling him so she could bounce on him. You are so good, Naruto groaned as he held her peach. I live to please you my prince, Kurenai said reverently as she bounced and bounced against his peach, letting her large melons jiggle and bounce for his viewing pleasure. Then you will treat all of my lovers with respect, Naruto growled out dominantly. Only those I deem worthy, Kurenai said with a glare. If I say they are worthy that is enough. Otherwise I will cut you off. Naruto yelled as he stopped bouncing Kurenai on his PP by holding her peach in place. You wouldn't dare. Kurenai yelled in horror. Try me, Naruto growled as he glared hard at her showing he wouldn't budge on this. Fine, she said after thinking on it for a long bit of time. Good girl now bounce for your MSTR, Naruto ordered as he slapped her peach to make her continue. Yes MSTR. Kurenai yelled obediently as she continued to bounce herself on his PP. Later. Naruto whistled a tune as he walked down the stairs in a gray suit with a white undershirt and gray tie. UF Nichan again huh? Anko asked with a smirk as her and Gaara sat at his kitchen table. Yes. She'll be down after he has feeling in her peach again. Where's Titania? Naruto asked curious. She was getting mouthy so I showed her Senor Strappy, Anko said with a lewd grin. Of course you did, Naruto sighed as he shook his head. By the way boss, the BLD Empress called. We have 2 more crewmates on the way, Gaara said. Oh good I still have room for 2 more here in my house. Who is she sending? Naruto asked. Suddenly they heard a crash from the front door as it was kicked open. Where is the booze? A female voice yelled making them turn to it. Naruto, Gaara, and Anko immediately jumped to their feet ready to fight after seeing who it was. Oh hell no. How the F did this Uchiha SLT find us? Anko asked as she pulled out her knives. I don't know but she's probably here to avenge her lover getting booted from the organization, Gaara said drawing a baseball bat. Oh for F's sake I'm not here to fight for that baby wiener haver. I just want some booze and a PP that's not 5 long at most. The pink-haired woman shouted. She was wearing a red half-shirt that barely contained her F-cup melons, she was also wearing tight gray pants that showed off her toned body, and plump, heart-shaped peach. Coming up behind her was a blonde woman she was wearing a purple vest that was unzipped slightly to show off her E-cup melons, along with a purple short skirt that showed off her curvy body, and plump peach. When did Pinky Flat Tips gain a set of chesticles? Anko asked seeing her appearance a lot more clearly now as her, Naruto, and Gaara stared. Tied them down now, where is the booze DM in it? She yelled again. Ino why is Sakura with you? Naruto asked with a firm tone. Didn't Empress Kushina tell you guys? She was a spy for her against the Uchihas. She was the one who found out about the planned betrayal of the BLD Empress by Fugaku Uchiha and Hayashi Hyuga. Ino told them. This got surprised silence from Naruto, Anko and Gaara. Wait a minute she's been with the Uchihas for years, Gaara pointed out. Yeah and I'm barely sane cause of it, Sakura said as she went into the kitchen and started to rummage through the fridge before finding a bottle of sake. She grabbed it and downed the entire bottle in an instant. Finally actual booze. She cheered. Suddenly footsteps came from the stairs as Kurenai, wrapped in a bed sheet, limped her way down holding a knife. I thought I heard your voice, she said with a glare at Sakura. Kurenai stop. She was apparently a spy of my mom's, Naruto said with a sigh. Oh I know, Kurenai said as she waved her hand dismissively. You wa? Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. This little bee is from my clan and she wanted you as a reward when Lady Kushina assigned her as a spy to the Uchiha. Hell I trained her for her spy role. Kurenai informed. So why are you looking to kill her? Anko asked curiously. She drank my sake. I was saving that to have Lord Naruto pour it all over my body and lick it off. Kurenai yelled. Hey! I spent 10 years as a spy. I earned this DMN it. Sakura yelled as she threw the empty bottle at Kurenai, who caught it easily. Great. Now I'll need more sake to have ate off by my MSTR, Kurenai groaned in irritation. Naruto groaned at this before he paused. Wait, my mom made me your reward? Naruto asked Sakura. More like my reward was to become your reward like sensei there. Sakura said nonchalantly. Naruto voiced, not knowing how to respond. Oh, don't be shy. I remember you leering at my peach when I was with the Uchihas. Tying down worked on the twins, but nothing could contain this peach, she said, gesturing to her peach. Well, it is a first-class peach, Naruto said without thinking. And it's all yours after I get drunk for the first time in years. Those Uchihas were super boring. No alcohol whatsoever. F pussies, she complained. Well, I have a sake cellar in the back dash, Naruto was saying. Oh f yes. You get ill tonight, big boy. Sakura yelled as she took off, rushing past them all. What the CRP even is my life anymore? Naruto asked. I like her now, she seems fine, Anko said with a grin. Sorry about her, I tried to keep her manageable, Ino said with a sigh. It's fine, Ino, I'm glad you're here, Naruto said with a kind smile. You just want me to finish your dance fighting training, Ino said with a grin. Naruto smirked before he approached Ino and pulled her close. That, and I missed my favorite blonde, he growled into her ear. Oh, if you didn't call Temari that, I'd almost believe you. I did miss you though, stud, Ino smirked as she liked his cheek. Like a pet locking its MSTR. God, I love you, Naruto growled out as he loved how Ino liked him. It's good to finally be here. Ino said with a CC wink at Naruto. As fun as it sounds to watch you be a pervert. We have business to take care of, boss, Gaara said. DMN it, Gaara, I was gonna get wrecked. Ino yelled. We can play later, Ino, Naruto said as he pat her on the head. Fine. By the way, why is the kid across the street using power tools in an open garage? Ino asked curiously. Huh? Naruto asked before walking out the door to see Bart in the garage using a welding flame on something. Oh, that's the little brother of Naruto's new girlfriend, Anko said. His what? Ino screeched in surprise. Really, Anko? Naruto groaned. Ino pulled out a knife and started to walk across the street towards the Simpsons' house. Ino, stop. Kurenai, stop her, Naruto ordered. No. Wait, come back, Kurenai said with an uninterested tone. Move or you're cut off. Naruto bellowed at her. Wait, Ino, get your fat ass back here. Kurenai yelled, throwing on her dress in an instant. Who you calling a fat peach, you painted F doll? Ino yelled, her attention turning from the Simpsons' house to the assassin woman. I look how my MSTR wishes. Nothing more, nothing less, Kurenai said simply as she glared at Ino. Didn't know he was into over-the-hill bees, Ino said with a glare. You little mother dash, Kurenai finally started to lose her composure but was cut off. Enough. Naruto yelled, you're here to help me out, not fight over who has a place in my bed, Naruto told them. Wow, you must like this girlfriend of yours if you're cracking the WHP, Sakura said as she came outside before she downed another bottle of sake. Yes, I do. And I'm sick and tired of this trying to kill each other as well as her CRP from my girls, Naruto said, finally having enough of the fighting and warring between his women. Soon he took a breath. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. You three back in the house, he ordered Ino, Sakura, and Kurenai. What did I do? All I was doing was standing here looking CC, Sakura said as she drank some more sake. I know, but I want everyone in the living room to discuss plans. Naruto ordered. Ah, okay. You two heard him move. Sakura yelled as she approached Kurenai and Ino. I don't answer to dash, Kurenai was saying before Sakura grabbed her and easily threw her into the house. You wanna be thrown or walk? Sakura asked Ino. No, I'm good, Ino said as she went into the house. Yeah, that's what I thought, Sakura scoffed. Holy CRP, Naruto said as he watched Sakura take control. Hey, you like that, Whiskers? Sakura asked with a smirk. Naruto smirked back and smacked her peach before he went inside. Can't wait to play, Sakura grinned before following back inside. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Any of my girls threatens or tries to murder another woman or girl I have interest in, they're done for good, Naruto said resolutely. Fine, Ino said with a sigh. I'm good means more playmates, Anko said with a smile. Speaking of boss, you have a bunch of messages from some woman named Crabapple wanting a date, Gaara said with a sigh as he wasn't a secretary. Thank you, Gaara. I won't have you deal with any messages anymore now that there's more of us, Naruto said before he sat down. Okay, so I'm thinking we get started with taking control of the construction unions and getting the bar I bought ready. Meanwhile, I'll go by the studios, and I was gonna look into this burlesque house a friend told me about, Naruto said. Ah, good idea, those places have dirt on almost anyone in the town, Anko said with a nod. Okay. Anko, I want you to try and track down the mob construction trucks that are constantly moving. Gaara, I want you to hit up the other construction unions and buy 'em out. Naruto ordered. Hey, this'll be fun, Anko grinned as Gaara nodded. Kurenai, I want you to supervise the bar along with Titania since she needs to work there along with Mo. Kurenai nodded at this as she was good at organizing the renovations. And Sakura and Ino, me and you will go to the studio and the burlesque house, Naruto told them. Got it, Ino said with a nod. Hope they have booze, Sakura said as she chucked a bottle of sake into a bin nearby. Already filled with empty bottles. Okay, you all have your assignments, let's move, Naruto said as he got up to leave. The group split up as Naruto, Ino, and Sakura left towards his car. Naruto. Lisa called out, getting his attention. Hey babe, what's up? Naruto asked with a smile as Lisa approached. My aunts are coming over tonight and they are gonna grill me about you, so can you visit later? Lisa asked. Sure thing. What time? Naruto asked with a smile, seeing no harm in this. I'll text you the details. Who are these two? Lisa asked as she looked at Ino and Sakura. Oh, these are Ino and Sakura, Naruto said, introducing them. They look trained. Are they part of your business? Lisa asked curiously with a pointed look at Naruto. Yes. They are part of my very legitimate business, Naruto confirmed. Lisa snorted at this and smiled. Yeah, I'm sure, and I'm assuming you two are part of his love nest as well, Lisa said with a smirk. Not yet, but here's hoping, Sakura said with a grin. Yes, I am. What of it? Ino asked with a glare. Oh, nothing, just be aware I'm his #1 gal. His words, not mine, Lisa said with a smirk. I don't remember saying that, Naruto admitted. So you don't want me? Lisa asked with a pout and sad eyes. Honey, you know that's not the way. Wait a minute, Naruto said as he realized he was being played. Lisa smiled and laughed at this. You are so cute when you worry about me, she said as she hugged him. Heh. Okay, I like her, Ino chuckled as anyone who could prank Naruto was great in her books. She still never forgave him for dyeing her hair one night. She did not look good with orange hair, damn it. I'll see you later, okay? Naruto asked Lisa as he smiled at her. Sure, have fun competing against your rival legitimate business, Lisa said with a smirk. Naruto chuckled before he pulled Lisa into a kiss. See you later. By the way, what's Bart doing in the garage? Naruto asked, curious as he looked to see Bart drilling something. He's entering a soapbox derby race and needs to build his own racer, Lisa explained. Ha. Tell him to let me know if he wants any help and input. Naruto said with a smile. Lisa nodded before she went back into her house while swaying her peach a little for Naruto's viewing pleasure. Heh, she's a keeper, Sakura said with a chuckle. Definitely, Naruto said with a smile before they got into his car. So you wreck her yet? Sakura asked as she sat next to Naruto. Why is that your first question? Naruto groaned. I'm drunk and corny, DMN it. Sakura exclaimed. No, I haven't wrecked her, Naruto sighed. What is she, a prude? Ino asked curiously. No, Ino. I just haven't made a move yet. And we only had one date, Naruto explained as he pulled out of his driveway. Alright, new topic. So what's the deal with this fat Timmy? Sakura asked. Tony, and he's your typical Italian mobster, Naruto said. Ah, no honor and plays dirty. Got it, Ino said as she nodded. As they drove to the TV studio, Naruto noticed a black car following them since they left the house. Ah, you noticed them too? Sakura asked curiously. Hard not to. God, they may as well have driven a white van, Naruto said with a head shake. Yet want me and Ino to kill them? Sakura asked with a savage grin as she cracked her neck. Yeah, sure, Naruto shrugged. He already made peace, he'd probably have to kill at some point personally. Plus Anko, Kurenai, and Gaara had already killed while here. This would be fine. Cool, park the car, this won't take long, lover, Ino said as she kissed Naruto's cheek. Naruto chuckled as he parked the car in a nearby parking complex to avoid any visibility from cops and crowds. Sakura and Ino got out of the car. Sakura cracked her knuckles while Ino did some small jumps almost like a dance. The black car stopped a bit away as 4 men in black suits stepped out of the car. You some newbies for that Uzumaki effort? One asked with a glare. Yes, but we can still kick your asses, so you get one warning. Either back off or your head it's going up his SXX. Then his is going up your, and his will be up your as, Sakura said pointing to all 4 men. Please forehead, like you could do that, one scoffed. Sakura paused at this as her eyebrow twitched. Call me forehead one more time. See what happens, she said with a glare and an eerily calm tone. Oh geez, Ino said with a groan. Oh, like I'm gonna take this from some giant forehead, fat assed, juice dump for the Uzumaki. Men aim for the legs. We'll make them both work the street dash, the leader was saying before he was cut off. Sakura already had the man by the throat and grabbed another by his pants and ripped them off. A moment later one was screaming in pain and terror as the sound of something being shoved into something was heard. I was not prepared to see this today, Naruto said wide-eyed from in the car. Anyone else? Ino asked the other 2 while the 2 Sakura attacked were running around like a human centipede. Aim for the blonde CNT. The one turned to his friend and they nodded before they rushed at Ino. Ino instantly did a cartwheel and swung her leg at one of the men's neck, slamming her heel into it, making an audible cracking sound as she snapped his neck. Using the momentum from the cartwheel kick, she dropped down onto her back into a spin as she sent her legs into the other mafia member, tripping him to the floor before she did a handspring and jumped into the air and spun before she brought her leg down and slammed it on the man's chest, making it cave in. Well, that was boring. I expected so much more. How you doing with your 2? She asked as she stood up and looked at Sakura. BSTRDS ran off, but at least they will end up online, Sakura said with a smirk as she was sure what she did would get around. Naruto chuckled at this as he really liked watching Ino fight, and Sakura just being a beast was very impressive. Ino smirked as she felt Naruto's eyes on her, jumped onto the hood of his car. So how was the show, stud? She asked, posing on his car as she pushed her chest into the windshield. Yeah, big boy, I can tell you liked watching us make examples of them, Sakura said as she sat on the hood of his car and liked her lips as she leaned forward to show off her melons. You 2 get in the F car. I know a hotel we can play in, Naruto ordered. Sakura and Ino smiled lustfully at this. Better be a good one. You know I'm a first-class F stud, Ino said as she got into the car. And it better have good booze if you want access to all of me, big boy, Sakura said as she also got in the car. Trust me, you won't be disappointed, Naruto said before he drove off as fast as possible to the hotel. 15 minutes later. Hotel. Naruto, Ino, and Sakura walked out of an elevator and approached a very well-made door that was labeled the Uzumaki Suite. You have a suite? Ino asked curiously. These two real estate brokers I met got it for me. Naruto said with a chuckle at how Cookie and Nookie wanted to spoil him. Ah, you got those twins off your bucket list, didn't you? Ino asked with a smirk. Wait, those two Chinese bees whose faces are all over the city. Yup, I now own the east and west side in terms of potential realty up for sale as well as info on places to strike at to ruin Fat Boy's income, Naruto said as he opened the door after unlocking it. They all entered the room and saw that it was a very well furnished and expensive suite with one large bed and a large fridge off to the side. They got you a hot tub and strpr pole? Ino asked as she spotted said items in the room. Sakura meanwhile went to the fridge. Okay, let's see, whipped cream, chocolate sauce, oh hello. Sakura yelled happily as she grabbed a bottle of champagne in the fridge. And then started to down it. Wow, those two must like you to get you this room just for playing with your girls, Ino said with a giggle as she sat on the bed and crossed her legs. Yeah, you must have effed them good, huh, Whiskers? Sakura asked as she sat next to Ino still drinking the champagne bottle and letting some dribble down to her chest. Naruto growled as he took off his shirt showing off his abs. I effed them good. But I'm gonna tear up your oles even more, Naruto told them as he undid his pants. Hey Ino, why don't you go get ready while me and the stud here break in the hot tub? Sakura asked while she smirked at Naruto's hard pee-pee as he dropped his pants and under. Sure thing. Have fun till I get back, stud, Ino said with a smirk as she entered the bathroom to get ready. I see what you did there. You wanted to monoloze me for a bit, huh? Naruto asked Sakura only to see her already naked. Why's your shirt still on? We doing this or what? She asked already NDE and ready to get in the hot tub. Impatient, aren't you? Naruto said with a chuckle as he took off his shirt. Hey, I earned it after my stint as a spy. I earned this, now get in the DMN hot tub. Sakura told him before she found herself lifted and thrown into the tub by Naruto in one quick movement. I give the orders here. Remember that, he told her as he moved her to his lap and gripped one of her large melons with his hand while trailing his other to her fat peach in the water. Sakura at his touches and caresses. Oh, you like my salty body, don't you, Whiskers? Sakura as she smirked at Naruto. DMN right. And I can't wait to break it in, Naruto exclaimed before he moved his hand from her BRST down to her CNT. Shoving a finger in there before swirling it around to find her sensitive spots. The bathroom door opened up to reveal Ino dressed in a light purple bathrobe with a fur collar, sensually walking up to the pole as Naruto sat in the hot tub with Sakura bumping and grinding on his lap as he fingered her, laying kisses along his neck. Ino pushed off her bathrobes to reveal she was dressed in nothing but a purple BR and thong, with black garter belt connected to fishnet stockings. The blonde girl slowly strutted forward, giving a small spin every mid-step, shaking her peach from side to side, her hands running through her hair flipping it. Naruto smirked as he pinched Sakura's NPL, causing her to Ino kicked up her heels a bit as she made her way up to the pole, pressing her chest up against it, grinding up and down its length before wrapping her legs around the pole. She gave Naruto a CC wink before she started to twirl around the pole, leaning her back, showing off her large bust. She placed one foot on the ground, the other leg wrapped around the pole. She reached back as she unstrapped her BR, tossing it to the side. She turned her back to the grunting and shaking her peach at her spectators. She pressed her peach against the cold metal pole, causing her to lightly from the cold sensation, but slowly began to move her peach up and down the pole until she moved away from the pole, giving it one last wild shake. She moved her way towards the hot tub, sinking her foot into the water before swimming up to Naruto, wrapping her arms around Naruto's neck, kissing him HRD on the lips. You like my dance, stud? Ino purred into his ear. His pee-pee is twitching against me, so I think so, Sakura said with a smirk. Ooh goody. Now we just need to figure out which of us he wrecks first, Ino said with a grin. Sakura gets it first. Now show me your peach, Naruto growled out to the pinkette as he was at his limit. Yes sir, boss. Sakura saluted before she stood from the tub and showed him her peach, shoving it directly in his face per his orders. Naruto smirked at this as he got up and rubbed his pee-pee on her peach a bit as he gripped her peach cheeks roughly. I thought you were some SEC god. Just shove it in already UFPP. Sakura yelled, annoyed at him not just shoving it in. Naruto growled and roughly slammed his PP into her peach, hilting it inside in one motion before he slapped her peach. I told you I give the F orders. Naruto growled. Oh yes, that's the PP I wanted, Sakura said as she and gained a crazed look on her face. Naruto smirked as he started to move and jackhammer from the get-go into her peach, making her large melons shake over the water as she and screamed from pleasure. Ino, wishing to get involved in some way, leaned over to him and held her large melons together as an offering for her prince. Naruto, seeing this, leaned back and took her tips into his mouth and started to dew on them as he continued to move into Sakura. Oh yeah. Ride me you hung bstrd. Sakura out from his savage thrusts. Her tongue hung out in pleasured bliss as she took his harsh thrusts over and over again. Naruto pulled away from Ino's melons and panted at how tight Sakura was on his PP. You have a first-class peach, he growled as he smacked her peach hard, making it ripple. Less talking. And more wrecking me, you hung son of a bee. Sakura yelled out. Oh, you want me at my best? Naruto asked with an animalistic growl. Get it all the way through me, you PP. Sakura screamed. Naruto moved his hand to Sakura's hair and pulled it back with a harsh tug before increasing his speed and power of his thrusts, tapping into his growing anger from Sakura's insults to get him to F her harder and wilder. Her large melons shook and bounced, directly smacking Sakura in her chin over and over again. Ah, that's it. Finally I have a stud that can FAB right. Now F ruin me, you hung mod half. Sakura yelled as he hammered at her tight peach. God, I love a mouthy bee. I love breaking them into my wares. Naruto growled into her ear. Sakura shivered and panted at this as she felt her CLMX coming. I think she enjoys the thought of being an on-call wear for you. Just like me, Kurenai, and Anko, Ino said with a grin at her friend. That true, my stacked pinkette? Naruto growled out as he felt himself getting close. Yes. It's all I ever wanted. I want you to bathe me in your juices every day of my life. Sakura yelled as her CLMX was getting closer and closer. Ah. Take it. Naruto yelled as he gripped her ass cheeks hard as he climaxed hard, shooting his hot jizz inside and flooding her peach. SOF good. Sakura out as she also climaxed, her orgasm juices spraying into the hot tub. Naruto panted for breath before he leaned forward and kissed Sakura's neck. I think I'll keep you, he growled into her ear before he smacked her peach again, making her Ah. Make my peach red MSTR. Mark it as yours. Tattoo your name on it if you wish. It's yours to use as you please. Sakura yelled in a crazed state of mind, coming off the hardest orgasm she ever had. That's the plan, but Ino needs attention, so you rest up, Naruto ordered as he removed his PP from her peach and moved towards Ino, who was still presenting her melons to him, not having moved despite his moving away from her. Sit down next to me, Naruto ordered as he submerged himself in the hot tub. Ino smirked at this as she swam over and sat in Naruto's lap before she hugged him and started to dew on his neck as she pushed her melons against his chest. God, I missed this salty body of yours, Naruto grunted out as he moved his hand to her BRST against his chest and groped it roughly, gripping her NPL between his fingers before twisting it. Ah. You gonna defile my WMB with your seed like old times when you F me, Temari and Tenten just for fun? Ino as she liked his ear. DMN straight I am after all, you're my breeding SLT. Naruto grinned at her as that was the title she gave herself. Ino grinned as she trailed her free hand down and pumped his PP in her hand as she rubbed it on her PP, and I'm ready to be bread daddy. Ino said, her grin not leaving her face. Naruto growled at this as he always got more aroused when his girls called him this. He then gripped her by her peach and thrust it hard into her tight TWT. Oh, I missed this. Ino screamed out immediately. having missed this PP entering her holes on a regular basis. Don't just take it. Bounce on my PP for your daddy. Naruto growled as he thrust it up into her. Yes, daddy. Ino yelled with a salute before she started to bounce her peach in the water. Bouncing up and down on his thick PP like a woman possessed. Obsessed with draining the juices from his glorious rod. F you're tight. Naruto grunted as he felt Ino go crazy with her bonus workout of draining his ball dry. You love it. Don't lie, daddy, Ino panted as her hair clung to her from how wet it was getting thanks to her splashing water on them both from her wild gyrations. DMN right, I do, my flower, Naruto growled as he held her close. Ino mmm at this as she loved when he called her that. Her PP tightening even more at his nickname for her. Her CLMX approaching. I'm gonna leak. Naruto grunted as he felt his TSTCL start to pulse. Good, feel free to fill me up, daddy. I'm yours to breed. Ino exclaimed. Naruto shouted loudly as he climaxed hard, firing his seed into Ino. Daddy, justices. So good. Ino yelled as her orgasm hit at the same time of her being filled up. Her mind going into a haze as her face contorted into an Ahigo look with her tongue hanging out. Drool dripping from it into the hot tub itself. Naruto panted for breath as he recovered from his CLMX before seeing Sakura sitting down and playing with herself under the water, having been watching Naruto f Ino. Get ready, Sakura, Naruto said as he pulled Ino off his PP. Sakura smirked as she put her arms above her head, which made her melons bounce for him as he approached. The next couple hours were filled with grunts, and the sounds of both girls submitting to the young Yakuza prince. Naruto walked out of the elevator whistling a tune as Sakura and Ino limped behind him. Not a bad workout, Naruto said with a grin as they entered the parking lot to get into his car. I still have juices leaking out my peach, Sakura said as she slowly got into the car. Feeling his juices still in her peach and slowly leaking into her underwear. You were the one being a tease, Naruto said with a chuckle as he started the car. And I regret nothing, Sakura said with a grin. So full, Ino as she sat in the passenger seat. Hervgna also leaked his juices directly into her panties. Next time I'll have to go all out on you too, he smirked as he was holding back a lot to be able to proceed with his plans. That was you holding back? I have bruises on my peach, Sakura asked with a raised eyebrow. Yeah, that was a quickie for him, Ino said as she was used to his longer and harder F that left women drooling messes. I told you none of that tender loving SHTDMN it. Sakura yelled as she scowled. If it was tender and loving it would have been way slower and longer with way more kissing. Naruto said simply as he pulled out of the parking lot and headed to the TV studio. 5 minutes later. Naruto drove into the studio lot and parked the car. So what you looking to do with this studio? Ino asked as her and Sakura got out of the car. With this studio under my control we'll be able to keep any employees out of Fat Tony's clutches once we know who he's doing business with. Not only that, but those same celebrities can work to our advantage to get us public appeal if needed, along with potential star power to have certain high-ranking government officials removed, Naruto explained. And if they have a rack? Sakura asked with a knowing smirk. Sakura, I'm not gonna just F anyone with huge tips, Naruto sighed. There's a goth over there, Ino said flatly as she pointed. Not funny, Ino, Naruto said as Ino knew he had a thing for goths. I'm serious. She's right over there being hounded by like 3 mobsters, Ino deadpanned as she pointed ahead. Naruto looked to see a woman with pale skin, large and long black hair, and a long black dress with a sizable hole in the chest showing off her F-cup melons, model curvy body, and heart-shaped peach. She currently had her back to a nearby wall as she was surrounded by 3 guys in dark suits. You should have paid up SLT. Luckily the boss agreed with our plan for you to get us our money's worth, one said, licking his lips. Before the man could do anything, Naruto grabbed him by the back of his head and slammed him hard into the concrete floor. Hey, what the F, a second man said before Naruto slugged him in the face, sending him crashing into a wall. The third man immediately went onto his knees in a bow. I am sorry Uzumaki. We were just jock dash, he was saying. Before Naruto kicked him in the face, knocking some teeth out his mouth as he fell unconscious. When you wake up, take your friends here and tell your boss the studio is my territory now. Naruto told the downed mobster he just kicked before looking at the gothic woman. Are you alright, miss? He asked, wanting to make sure nothing was done to her. Ah, thank you, young man. Your heart is as big as my boobs, the woman said in vampiric style of speaking. Is she serious? Sakura asked Ino. Yeah, that SHT is annoying, Ino said. It's obviously an act, Naruto said as he chuckled. You're no fun, Whiskers, the woman said with a normal tone but a smile on her face. Although I'm happy I can drop the act for a change, she admitted. What's your name? Naruto asked curiously. I am known as Bobarella, she introduced as she did a slight bow. Can I get an actual name? Naruto deadpanned while Sakura and Ino laughed at how stupid this name was. Force of habit. My real name is Barbara Levinsky. You're the first person to ever ask my name, Naruto asked. So why were fat boys goons messing with you? Sakura asked curiously. Since Krusty got away from Fat Tony's whole organization to join a different one. All of us at the studios have had to pay extra protection money. I didn't want to pay, so they took exception, she explained. Well, I will be buying the studio names Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto introduced. Wait, the Yakuza kid that Tony's been freaking out over? Barbara asked curiously. How do you know Dash? Naruto was saying before he was cut off. I used to do journalism and reporter work. I have my sources, she explained simply. Impressive. Naruto told her as he had to admit she found out very quickly without ever even meeting him. Anyway, if you're looking to buy the place, the office of the owner is this way, Barbara said as she led the way towards the main building. Thanks, Naruto smiled at her. Think nothing of it, darling, Barbara said, going back to her, Bobarella, a voice as she led the way. You think she will use that voice when you're ball deep in her peach? Sakura whispered to Naruto, who groaned and slapped his forehead. I can hear you, Barbara deadpanned to the pinkette. Sorry about her, she's drunk, Naruto said with a nervous chuckle. It's fine. Would you believe she is not the first to make that joke? Barbara asked as she shook her head. Well, it's an easy joke to make, Ino said simply. Anyone who was called Bobarella had to know what they were getting into with the jokes. Indeed it is. Never had a woman make them though. Oh, by the way, darling, I would use the voice if you wish me to, Barbara said with a wink. He did save her after all. Noted, Naruto said after a moment. Barbara soon led them to an office door and knocked. Enter, they heard a male voice say as they opened the door. Naruto opened the door and led the girls in behind him. The man behind the desk took one look at Naruto and scowled. Forget it, Yakuza boy. I'm loyal to Tony. What he wants he gets. Speaking of Levinsky. You didn't pay your share of the money. I'd fire your peach if not for your rack getting us money. He growled. Naruto scowled at this before he looked at Ino. Babe, can you negotiate with him for me? Naruto asked as he would probably break the guy's bones. Ino smirked evilly at this as she was great at negotiating thanks to training with Anko. She pulled out a small object from her pocket. Is that a kidney stone? Barbara asked as Ino approached the man. Yeah, you don't want to see this, so how about we go to lunch? Naruto asked Barbara as he slightly paled as he had heard stories about what Ino did when she brought that out. Sounds good to me, darling, Barbara said with a grin. Do you have any booze in this place? Sakura asked. He keeps a bottle of malt liquor under the desk, Barbara said simply. Jackpot. Sakura said with a grin as she approached the desk with Ino. Hey, that's mine. The owner yelled before finding him pushed into his chair by Ino when he went to stand. Naruto and Barbara left the office as Ino grabbed the man in charge and the door closed. What are you doing, B? You gonna do my, my god, the man was heard yelling before high-pitched screaming was heard coming from the office. 1 hour later. Naruto opened the door to see how Ino was doing. "How goes it?" he asked. "You now own a studio." "He signed it over after 5 minutes but he made a crack about my peach so I thought I'd have a little fun," Ino said as she held up the deed. "Is he gonna be okay?" Barbara asked, seeing the man on the ground crying and holding his pee-pee. "Do you honestly care?" Sakura asked as she finished the bottle of malt liquor. "No. Not really. Guy always smacked my peach when he passed me in the hall and told me he'd give me a bonus if he could eat my tips," Barbara said. "Sakura, be a dear and throw this piece of trash out of my studio, and yes, you can break bones," Naruto said with a glare at the man. Yeah. "Alright little boy, come with me," Sakura told him and reached down for him. "I can't feel my pee-pee," the man cried as Sakura grabbed his leg and dragged him away. "Oh quit your crying. Besides, you have an appointment with Dr. Gravity." Sakura cackled. Naruto looked at Ino, who was putting away her kidney stone interrogation tool. "You have a mean streak," he stated as he looked at her. "Look, I can either get F to stay sane or torture idiots to keep sane," Ino shrugged. "Dancing, don't forget dancing," Naruto said. "True," Ino said with a smirk. "Okay, now I need to assign someone to run this place for me," Naruto mulled it over. "How about Kurenai?" Ino suggested. "And have her decide what movies and shows get made?" "Hell no," Naruto said, terrified. I have a decade of experience in the business," Barbara said as she raised her hand hopefully. "Perfect, you're in charge now," Naruto said as he smiled. "Just keep the goth look for him," Ino said with a smirk at Naruto. "Please stop trying to set me up with a woman I just met," Naruto groaned. "Oh ho. So my boss likes to partake in women of the night, huh?" Barbara asked as she smirked at Naruto. "Oh, the stories I could tell you," Ino said with a grin. Naruto groaned as he pinched his nose, already feeling a headache. "Come on Ino, we need to get Sakura and go to our next business," Naruto said as he led Ino out of the office. "Ah, that burlesque house, right? Good, I want my own business to run," Ino said with a grin. "Call me darling. My door is open for you anytime," Barbara said with a smile at Naruto. "Make sure your desk is sturdy." "He plays rough," Ino said with a laugh. "Will you come on?" Naruto yelled as he dragged Ino out of the office to find Sakura. 30 minutes later. Naruto parked his car on the street of the burlesque house. "Wow, this place looks like it should open to the monsters," Sakura said as she looked at the old-style house. "Or a Scooby-Doo door short," Ino said with a chuckle. "Come on. Let's go before Tony sends some morons again," Naruto said. "Too late," Sakura deadpanned as a black Lincoln Continental car approached. "Okay Ino, Sakura, you go greet them while I go see the owner," Naruto said. "Oh good, I need a workout," Sakura said as she cracked her neck and smirked. "I'll bring out the twins this time," Ino smirked as she grabbed something from the foot of the car. Pulling out twin tunfas which she spun like a pro as they approached the half-dozen men coming out of the car. Naruto approached the door and knocked on the door. "If you're with Fat Tony, you get one chance to get off my lawn," a female voice yelled from inside. "Not with him, miss, but my enforcers are dealing with his men now," Naruto said as the fight started behind him. "Oh god, my legs," one yelled in pain. "You scream like AB," Sakura yelled before stomping on his leg, breaking it in several places. "Enter," the female voice said as the door opened for him. Naruto entered the house and saw a woman in an old-school red dress. "You're obviously not with Tony, but since you're against him I assume you're the Yakuza going around causing him trouble," the woman stated. "That's me, miss," Naruto said as he nodded. "Call me Belle. Now what can I do for you?" she asked as she gestured at a table nearby for them to sit at as she was willing to hear out anyone that messed with Fat Tony. "I heard from a mutual friend that your business here is very good at getting information on the people in power in this town," Naruto said as he sat down. "Most of them come here. And those that don't still have some men in their employment give em some scantily clad women in alcohol or gambling and they'll admit everything about them just to speak to a woman, Belle said simply. Well, I have a business proposition for you, Miss Belle, Naruto said. Ain't you a little young to be investing in this kind of work, boy? She asked. Naruto shook his head. Ma'am, I'm a Yakuza and 21, he said. Touché, okay kid, what's your proposal? Belle said with a chuckle. We become business partners. I provide protection from Fat Boy and you give me dirt on anyone I ask. I'll even fund the place if needed, Naruto SSID. Well, I was looking to retire and train a replacement, Belle admitted. Perfect, I have the perfect woman for the job, Naruto said as he got up and moved to the window and moved the curtain. See the blonde? He asked Belle. The one covered in BLD choking a mobster. Belle asked deadpan. You got BLD in my hair, you little pissant. Ino bellowed as she choked the mobster. Uncle. Uncle. The man gagged out. That's her, she's one of my best and she is looking to learn to run a business, Naruto said with a grin. Ah, what the hell, I need the successor, you have a deal. On the condition I still get to live here, Belle said. Of course it's your house after all, we just rent the place and pay you very well for it, may I add, Naruto said as he nodded and took out his checkbook and quickly wrote up a check and then handed it to her. Belle's eyes widened at this before she chuckled. You keep flashing cash like this and my girls here may all leave to pursue you, kid, she said as she put the check away. Oh hell no. I'm not having a cabaret club incident again. The door was booted open by Kurenai. Kurenai, you are supposed to be supervising the bar renovations to Moe's, Naruto told her. And you're not supposed to be sniffing for where's to F, guess what, we're both failing at our jobs, Kurenai yelled as she glared at Naruto. I didn't do anything, woman. Now leave. Naruto ordered as he pointed out the door. As you wish, Prince Naruto, Kurenai said with a glare as she left the burlesque house. Interesting company you keep, Belle said as she shook her head at how odd this was. You have no idea, Naruto sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose. He loved Kurenai but she was driving him crazy. Well, let's meet the blonde you think is good enough to be my replacement after I retire, Belle said as she got up from her chair. Naruto nodded before he opened the window. Ino, get in here, you have a job interview, he ordered her. Fine. I'm done with this punk ass. Ino yelled as she finished kicking one of the mobsters in the gut before she walked toward the house. I can taste my kidneys, the man groaned in pure pain after Ino kicked him. You want to SWCH to her, one of the other mobsters groaned as he pointed at Sakura, who literally picked up a mobster and pile drove him through the hood of their Lincoln Continental. Literally through the hood into the engine block. No, I'm good, the mobster said as he sweat dropped. Say, Ino, mind if I play with your toys while you do your interview? Sakura asked as she dusted herself off. Go nuts but leave one alive to tell the tale, Ino yelled out of the door. Who should I let live? Sakura mused with a grin looking at the mobsters who groaned as she attacked them. You two stay out of trouble, I need to get to Lisa's, Naruto said as he left and approached his car. You got it, boss. Good luck with nailing her, Sakura said with a smirk before she grabbed a man and threw him through the windshield of the Lincoln Continental face first. Ah, nothing like the screams of idiots in pain, Sakura cackled. Later at the Simpsons. Lisa was in her room looking over her essay for her college class. Lisa. Bart. Maggie. Your aunts are here. Marge yelled up. Run away. Bart was heard yelling. Wait for me, DMN it. Maggie was heard yelling as a crash was heard downstairs. Lisa sighed as she left her room and went downstairs and saw her mom with her aunts Patty and Selma. Let me guess, Bart and Maggie made a break for it on his new derby car. Lisa asked her mother. Your father also tried to go with them and they drove off saying they wouldn't forget his sacrifice, Marge deadpanned. That girl of yours has a mean streak, sis, Patty said with a chuckle at Maggie's attitude. Yeah, I have no idea where she gets that from, Marge sighed. Lisa said nothing but she looked at her aunts with a knowing look. They may have babysit Maggie a bit too much compared to her and Bart. Well, it's fine, we wanted to talk to Lisa anyway, Selma said as she looked at her sister's oldest. Oh, here it comes, Lisa thought, waiting for the moment they said something really dumb. We heard from your mom you finally found a guy and we wanted to be sure you didn't pick a loser like her, Selma said. Marge frowned at this as while Homer wasn't the smartest, he was always doing his best for the family. My dad may not be the best but he's at least loyal, Lisa said with a small frown. Dogs can be trained, kid, Patty said. Both twins laughed at this, missing Lisa and Marge's hands twitch a little. Suddenly the doorbell rang. That must be Naruto, Lisa said as she approached the door looking for any distraction away from her aunts. Naruto? You went for a foreigner? Patty asked with a quirked eyebrow. Already a better choice than Homer, Selma said as Homer came into the room to hear that remark before the twins laughed. Lisa rolled her eyes as she opened the door to see Naruto. Please tell me you're here to take me away from all this, she said with a flat tone. I mean, I figured I should at least meet your aunts first before we went somewhere. You know, to be polite, Naruto chuckled as Lisa let him in. Your funeral, Homer muttered having heard that. Where are Maggie and Bart? Naruto asked. Maggie led an escape in Bart's new derby car, Lisa explained. Naruto snorted at this but smiled a little as he was impressed how resourceful those two were in a pinch. Alright, let me meet your aunts, it's two gargoyles. Lisa, get behind me. Mr. Simpson, get me a hammer. Naruto yelled. There was silence at this for a few moments, even the cat and dog were silent. Ha 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 ha. Kid, you officially get my full approval. Homer said as he laughed at the faces Selma and Patty were making. Naruto, these are my sisters, Marge deadpanned as she shook her head. Well, this is awkward, Naruto said sheepishly. It's fine, sweetie, Lisa said as she was trying not to laugh and failing badly. You can do better, Patty said in monotone. How you figure? You just met me, Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. You just insulted us, Selma deadpanned. Oh please, I cannot be the first person who has, Naruto rolled his eyes. No, you're not. Lisa said as she had heard it all from the town when it came to her aunts. Yeah, Flanders kids chased them with holy water, Homer said with a snicker. Marge murmured to show she didn't appreciate how this meeting was going. Look, let's just start over. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Nice to meet you both, Naruto said as he held out his hand to the two twins. Pass. Get out of here, Patty said, gesturing for Naruto to leave. Not your house, Lisa said with a glare as she was at her limit. Okay, look Lisa, let's just go somewhere since this is just getting worse and worse, Naruto suggested. Sounds good to me, let's go, Lisa said as she grabbed her purse and coat off the hook nearby. I'll be back later, guys. Lisa said as she pushed Naruto out. Okay Lisa, have fun, Marge said as she nodded. Yeah, keep walking, Whiskers, Selma told him. Is that the best you got? I heard better insults from the mobsters I have killed. Naruto yelled before Lisa pushed him into his car. He killed mobsters? Patty asked with a raised eyebrow. Head of a Yakuza family, Homer said as he went to go get a beer. And you two are just fine with that? Selma asked, bewildered. Better than some mobster of Tony's. Plus he's been nothing but a gentleman to Lisa, Marge said with a smile as they all went into the kitchen. Yeah, kid put her old boss through a wall, Homer said taking a sip of his beer. Patty and Selma's eyes widened at this. Maybe he's not that bad then, Selma said as her and her twins sat down while Marge got some refreshments. By the way, Homer, how'd you get a motor for Bart's derby car? Marge asked curiously. Oh, one of Naruto's associates gave it to Bart. You know, the purple-haired one. She said she got it from some abandoned car on Naruto's lawn, Homer said as he drank his beer. Well, that sounds completely innocent, Marge said, trying not to think of the implications of that sentence. With Naruto and Lisa. Naruto parked the car on top of a hill overlooking Springfield so they could look over the view. I can't believe you insulted them like that, Lisa said as she looked at Naruto. Hey, you didn't say they could make Ray Charles flinch. Plus don't lie, you found it funny, Naruto said as he placed his arm around Lisa's shoulder. Okay, I did. I hate how they treat my dad, so this felt like karma to me, Lisa admitted, giggling. Bah, they are just mad your mom found someone while they are the equivalent of cat ladies. They don't have cats, Lisa said simply. Oh god, did they eat them? Naruto asked, horrified. Oh, shut up you idiot, Lisa said before she started giggling at Naruto's immaturity. I'm your idiot, Naruto said with a smile as he leaned forward to kiss Lisa. Uzumaki. Come out of the car. A male voice yelled in anger. Naruto and Lisa scowled at this as their kiss was interrupted. One date without this happening. That's all I wanted, Lisa said with a sigh. I'm on it, Naruto said as he pushed a button on his phone. Kurenai, I know you're spying on us, deal with whoever is interrupting us, he said into the phone after someone answered. She won't be answering, Uzumaki. The voice said again, this time through the phone. What the F? Naruto asked as he turned his head to look and see 4 mobsters with Kurenai. She was clearly drugged and bound. B was so drunk she didn't even see us enter and drag her, the man said. Normally we'd have fun with the B, but since she works for your sorry, but we decided to bring her to you. The big bad Yakuza and his mob killing Siente, the man yelled as he leaned over and groped Kurenai's BRST. Naruto scowled as he got out of his car. Stay here, Lisa, and lock the door, he said as he slammed the door shut. Glad we have your attention, Uzumaki. Now let's get on with your imminent death, the man said as he snapped his fingers while his 3 friends pulled out baseball bats. One swung at Naruto, but he ducked and slugged the man in the side of his neck and grabbed his bat before he swung around and cracked the bat into the man's leg. My leg. The man yelled in pain as he felt the bone break. If Lisa weren't here, you guys would all be dead. So I'm not gonna kill any of you. But you'll all wish I had. Naruto yelled as he rushed at another one holding a bat and slammed his bat into theirs, knocking the bat from the man's hands before he cracked the bat into his leg to make him kneel. Then Naruto started to spin the bat a little as he wound up for a swing. Batter up. Naruto yelled as he slammed the bat into the man's face, knocking him out. The third mobster, quaking in fear, tried to run before Naruto rushed at him, slamming his bat into the man's gut and then placing the bat into the man's throat and started to choke him with the baseball bat. Go to sleep, you son of a b. Naruto yelled as the mobster flailed and struggled before he fell unconscious from lack of air. Naruto sighed as he calmed himself before he looked at Kurenai on the ground. Is she okay? Lisa asked as she got out of the car. Lisa, stay in. There's still one more. Naruto yelled before he saw the leader jump out of a bush at Lisa. Say goodbye to your Uzumaki, the man yelled in an insane tone. Before he found himself on the ground as Lisa kneed him in his groin. The hell? The man squeaked out in pain. Majored in self-defense for 2 semesters, Lisa said before she spin-kicked the man in the jaw, sending him to the ground with several teeth missing. Kurenai, are you okay? Naruto asked as he tried to rouse the drugged Kurenai awake. She however was completely out of it, damn it. Lisa, help me get her into the car, he said. Lisa nodded as she approached and helped him carry Kurenai into the car. You idiots live only because of her. But guess what, your boss went too far this time. All of you pests are gonna be exterminated by my group, Naruto said to the downed mobster Lisa took down before they got Kurenai into the car. As Naruto got into his car, he took out his phone and sent a text to his mother. Bring in the big guns, they drugged Kurenai and molested her. I'm done playing nice, Naruto texted. I'll send them all and all my support, just send Fat Boy's head to me. You haven't killed yet, but now is the time, his mother texted back. Naruto hesitated before he texted back, that's the plan. After that text, Naruto put away his phone as he drove Kurenai and Lisa to his house. Naruto's house. Naruto and Lisa grabbed Kurenai from the car and entered his house before Anko, Gaara, Ino, and Sakura suddenly rushed over to them, seeing Kurenai's state. After a few moments, Sakura sighed in relief. She's fine, she just needs rest, she said. You're a doctor? Lisa asked curiously. Trained by the best, Sakura said as she carried Kurenai upstairs to her room. This is all my fault, Naruto said as he paced the room in frustration. It's not your fault, boss. Kurenai should have known better than to go drinking alone, Gaara said. I got on her case about her jealousy, I drove her to drink. It's my fault. And I'm gonna make it right, Naruto said with an angry look on his face as he started to head for the door. Hold on, boss, Miss Kushina already texted us with orders to keep you here until the others get here tomorrow. Plus she said if you rush into it like an idiot you're playing into his hands, Gaara said firmly. Fine, Naruto said after taking a breath to calm down. Fat Tony is gonna die for this. Anko growled. They drugged her best friend. They deserved death and agony. Naruto, she's awake and asking to see you. Sakura's voice yelled from upstairs. I'm going with you, Lisa said firmly as she followed Naruto. Alright, Naruto said not having the strength to argue. The two went upstairs to Kurenai's room and see her sitting in bed, her head down not looking at him before she bowed. I'm sorry Mstr, Kurenai told him, I failed you. I made a rookie mistake and besmirched your name because of my actions, Kurenai told him. Kurenai stop, you didn't fail me. I failed you. I drove you to drink in the first place. It's my failure not yours. Naruto told her before he bowed to her instead. I think you're both morons, Lisa said simply. What? Naruto asked looking at her along with Kurenai. Sweetie, you didn't actually talk to her about dating me, you just made juvenile threats, right? Lisa asked as she had a feeling how Naruto responded to Kurenai's attitude having seen it beforehand when she was stalking them. Maybe, Naruto admitted as he sighed. And because of this you didn't help her work out her jealousy, just delayed it and made it worse. She was already possessive of you both for her job duties and her love for you. Lisa said. Kurenai looked at Lisa for a moment before she chuckled, you looking to be a therapist or something? Kurenai asked Lisa. No hostility for once. Perhaps. I just like analyzing things truthfully. Be it people or data of some kind, Lisa said, back to what I was saying Miss Kurenai, you let your jealousy get the better of you to the point of needing to find an escape. So you went to a bar and had some drinks. I'm gonna assume that you were already drunk when the mobsters arrived and snuck something in your drink, Lisa said. Relax, they only groped you, Naruto said as Kurenai paled at this. That's still bad. My body is meant for you alone. Kurenai said angrily. Well, when the rest of the crew get here we can finish off Tony, Naruto said with a growl of rage. Then you'll need to do something about the mayor, Kurenai said before she removed the blanket to get up. I'll go and take care of him, Kurenai said as she went to stand up. Oh no. You're staying in bed, Naruto told her as he went to put her back into the bed. Kurenai frowned at this but said nothing as she sighed in defeat. Fine, but I get to kill that mayor and send his head to Fat Boy, she said. I have a better idea. We'll oust him from his power and place someone else in charge, Naruto told her. Okay, before I get incriminated by knowing too much, I'm gonna head home. I hope you feel better, Kurenai, Lisa said. Wait, Lisa, thank you, Kurenai told her. No problem, Lisa said with a smile. And don't worry, you should be a good alpha, Kurenai said. Naruto groaned at this while Lisa blushed at this as she hadn't considered that. Kurenai, I don't need an alpha, Naruto sighed. You have many lovers and will need one to keep us all in line, and Lisa is perfect for that. This experience has taught me my jealousy isn't worth it, so I'm abdicating my alpha status to her, Kurenai said simply. This is payback, isn't it? Lisa asked with a flat look. Of course not, Mstrs, Kurenai said with a smirk. Naruto and Lisa groaned at this before Lisa headed for the door. I'll see you two tomorrow, Lisa said as she left. Good night, Mstrs, Kurenai said as she left. Why is my life so crazy? Naruto groaned as he pinched his nose as he felt a headache coming before he found himself pulled into Kurenai's bed. How about a last hurrah with me as your head bee? Kurenai asked with a smirk. F it, Naruto said before he kissed her as the two engaged in a night of passion. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 3. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author KFB Anime 87 on fanfiction.net. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. Do check his Patreon too for some surprises. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.